Hello everybody, it's the Worm, and I'm back for some more Steins Gate today. And with this episode, I should be pretty much caught up, so to speak, with my, pretty much with the uploads that I have already published on the channel. So, to reiterate a comment I made on one of my previous episodes, my original intention was to sort of pre-record most, if not all, of this Let's Play before uploading them. But then, my schedule changes, things have to be moved around, and that ended up kind of falling through. Of course, that's not going to mean anything, or that shouldn't really change anything for you all. The episodes will still be releasing every other day. That should be fine. But for me, it's just going to be, on the one hand, it means, there are potential for, say, spoilers or things of that nature. But on the other hand, I can actually sort of engage with the comments a bit more directly, since I'm now all caught up. And so, one thing I want to ask about is the sound. I believe someone mentioned that the game was a bit too loud, or I was a bit too quiet. I think I've tried to change that a bit. I slightly lowered the game, and I'm thinking I'll probably be a bit louder now. So if the balance of that is still off, please let me know. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. Again, shouldn't notice much of a change on your end of things. So yeah, I'm pretty excited today because we're starting chapter 2. Last time we had a kind of, what word should I use to describe it? An explosive event sort of occurred. We got to the bottom of some of the weirdness going on with the phone wave, and there's a few pieces of information I want to try and keep in mind. I don't know how deep into the minutia this game's gonna get, but I felt I'd just mark it down just to be sure. So, in particular, what I've noted is the dates and the particulars surrounding the email that was sent. So, the first time this occurred, this was the email about seeing Chris's body. That went back from, it was supposedly, he originally sent it on the 28th, but it arrived on Daru's phone supposedly on the 21st. And that email was split into 3 parts. And with this email experiment we just did here, where Daru sent an email to Rintaro's phone, this one went back. This one was sent on the 29th and arrived on the 24th. So, and it was split into 2. So there's some minor differences here, and I'm curious if there's going to be, if there's some sort of rhyme or reason why that is. So, I mean, one thing that comes to mind is that it was a shorter message. So the shorter message went back 5 days and was split into 2, whereas the longer message went back 7 days and was split into 3. Again, that was the first thought that entered my head. I don't know if that's going to be the case or anything like that, but I just want to make sure I have that marked down. Also, I want to mention, some people have been, well, now that I'm all caught up, all the pre-recorded ones have been uploaded, and I've seen everyone's comments now, I am aware now that with this phone here, there are potential moments that could occur where, say, in the dialogue, Rintaro says, "Oh, I should send a message," or something like that. Apparently, if I had gone into the phone, it was possible to actually send messages during those moments and get some extra dialogue. Now, I'm not sure how important or how big of a... I don't know if that's gonna... Well, it could be several different things. It could be that those are actually important and change the trajectory of the story. Don't tell me, by the way. I'm still just experiencing this for myself. So, potentially sending messages or not sending them could be a choice that actually has some sort of impact, or it could just be a minor thing that has extra dialogue. I'm sure I'm sure eventually that'll be made clear to me, or if not, I'll find out at some point. Yeah, I mean, if it's just some minor dialogue, I don't think I mind missing it all that much, but maybe by the end of it, I think, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be routes or multiple endings or something. I'm sure I'll be looking up a guide at some point in order to figure out what I need to do, and maybe during those instances where I'm trying different things out, I could try and get those optional sequences. But for now, on my first playthrough, I'm just going to be going through. If I notice something like that, maybe I'll act on it. But if I don't, I'm not gonna. It's not a big deal to me right now. So that's where we're at right now. Let's see how our crew deals with the fallout of whatever in the world we did with the phone wave. I mean, is it broken now? It fell through a table. What was that? Okay. I think we saw this. I think I looked at this at the end of last time. We got a ton of messages from Moeka, a Shining Finger, Kiryu Moeka, I believe her full name is. And yeah, she really... Yeah, she's really wanting to get in contact with us, so I guess we'll have to see how that turns out. Okay, let's begin. The dawn of a new day. Actually, it's already noon. We didn't sleep at all. Sleep deprivation makes the summer sun seem all the brighter. I really don't want to go outside, but I'm fed up with the humidity inside the lab. Oh my goodness, I get you. I don't know where you all live, but in my neck of the woods, it has been very hot recently. There is a fan on in my room here, so if you're hearing some noise in the background, that's probably that. But yeah, it's been up in the 90s. It's just, ugh. But luckily, it's probably not as humid as it is for Rintaro here, but it's still pretty intense. I chug a bottle of Dr. P. My stomach protests. Maybe I drank it too fast. I'm exhausted. My hands are shaking slightly, and my vision is cloudy. I could pass out if I'm not careful. Maybe I should take a shower. That could stave off exhaustion, if only temporarily. This building has a basic shower room. There's no bath, but it's enough. The lab would be hell without it. Daru is at his computer, his back turned toward me. His right leg is bouncing impatiently. The room is mostly silent, save for the electric fans humming and Daru's mouse clicks. Daru doesn't look my way, and he doesn't try to start a conversation. Neither do I. I don't have the energy. Outside is a sunny summer afternoon, but inside the air is stale and empty of life. Yesterday, that shocking experiment convinced me that the phone wave, name subject to change, was also a time machine. But Karisu didn't seem willing to accept the results. She just started screaming. You know what? Let me make the voices a tad bit louder. Maybe this tad. I think it's mainly the music that was a bit loud. So let's see if that works out. Okay. Well, clearly she gave the lecture on time machines, or on various modes of potential time travel, or the, I guess, pop theories of time travel. And we know she wrote a paper on something like that, so she's clearly invested in the topic. So I'm wondering what's causing her consternation here. I mean, again, I said this last time. I would be pretty freaked out if something like that had occurred, or if, just witnessing that. So I think that's a somewhat understandable reaction. Then she made a mad dash out of the lab. It was like she couldn't get out of here fast enough. As for Mayuri, she was depressed about her chicken and bananas, so she skipped her daily costume sewing and went home. Grudges over food run deep, I guess. Which leaves the lab empty, save for Daru and me. Our enthusiasm shot through the roof when we realized that the phone wave, name subject to change, had tremendous hidden potential. We nearly died of excitement after successfully sending an email to the past. So, yeah. Sending an email to the past. Again, I'm curious how deep the game's gonna go. Are we gonna talk about exactly how this works? Like how we were able to, how a phone, a microwave, and a computer, how does that combine into time machine? How does that... So we stayed up all night doing experiments to confirm whether or not the phone wave, name subject to change, is indeed a time machine. The results, however... We went to the supermarket and stocked up on a wide variety of items. We tossed each of them into the phone wave, name subject to change, but everything failed. No change. Nothing happened. After the experiment where the discharge phenomenon occurred, everything warmed up normally. No jellification. Uh-oh. You broke it. Or maybe fixed it, in this case? I don't know. Suddenly we couldn't get anything to happen, and we still had no idea why. First, let's review the problems revealed by this last round of experiments. Problem 1. Electrical discharge safety precautions. We removed everything flammable from the development room to reduce the risk of fire. We also prepared 2 fire buckets full of water just in case. But that's not a fundamental solution. We'll keep an eye out from now on, but if things get dangerous, we should seriously consider relocating our experiments. Problem 2. Mass increase. When the discharge phenomenon occurs, the phone wave, name subject to change, suddenly gains mass for unknown reasons. Because of this, the microwave broke the table and made a dent in the floor. Yeah, that was pretty peculiar. Definitely. Ah, I see. To deal with the issue, we placed the microwave on the floor. We spread cushions and blankets underneath. This hides the hole in the floor, too. It's only a temporary fix, though. If we make any more holes, Mr. Braun is quite capable of raising my rent. And that's to say nothing of the calamity it will cause if it falls through the floor. Anyway, we need to find the source of the mass increase. If amateurs like us even can, that is. But the first two problems pale before the third. This last problem is critical. Until we solve it, we can't even really experiment with the phone wave name subject to change. Problem 3. We're not even sure of the necessary conditions to send emails to the past. No matter how many times we tried, we couldn't pin down a single condition. We spent the entire night doing trial and error. We tried over 40 different things, but not once could we reproduce the discharge phenomenon. I had the idea that opening the microwave door was the key. That theory was proven false. There might be something else I'm missing, but for now, we're at an impasse. Okay, so... I mean, presumably they're saying... Putting a different phone in there and texting it like they did before is not working anymore? And they're saying just the regular sort of jellification isn't happening anymore either, right? Okay. So something fundamental has occurred in the phone wave here. We started off in high spirits, but grew more and more frustrated as time progressed, which brings us to the present. Honestly, I gave up. That's why I spent the entire morning lazing about like this. Another email pops up on my phone. Well, let's check it out. Aha. It's another shining finger. I should probably just read all these, right? Just so we get a sense of what we've been dealing with, or what Rintaro's been dealing with. Okay. Subject student. Moeka here. Are you a student, Okabe-kun? Are you on summer break, Moeka? Schedule. Are you a day person or night person? If you'd rather I email you around a certain time, let me know. I want you to reply as soon as you can, but I don't want to be a bother, so let me know, okay? Moeka. Phone. By the way, I don't like talking on the phone, so please don't call me. Bye-bye, Moeka. Phone 2. I just remembered I didn't tell you my phone number. That's okay. I'm a lot more comfortable communicating by email anyway. What about you, Okabe-kun? Moeka. Asleep? Hey, are you still asleep? Rise and shine. Have you talked to the super hacker yet? Oh, I'd like to hear more about John What's-His-Face. I'm super curious, Moeka. Wake up. I'm nocturnal, so I usually don't go to bed until the sun comes up. It's not so bad once you get used to it. Mail me when you wake up, okay? Moeka. You sleep too much. I haven't gotten a reply yet. Are you still asleep? You sleep too much, Okabe-kun. You're living like an old man. Well, I guess I'm not one to talk, Lamau. Anyway, let me know when you have something on the IBM 5100. Pretty please, Moeka. Man, that makes me... It tired me out just reading these. I don't know if any of you have had to deal with a person like this. Just a bit too pushy. But yeah, she's slowly shifting into the suspicious category for me. This just seems like a lot. Okay, let's see how Rintaro handles this. I'm curious. I've been getting way too many of these since yesterday. They're all from Shining Finger, the woman called Kiryu Moeka. I've never used email this often before. Even Mayuri only sends me 1 or 2 a day, and she's a teenage girl. Frankly, this is starting to get on my nerves. I saw how fast Shining Finger typed. That should have been enough to tip me off that she was a male demon. I was careless. I told him. I told you. Shouldn't have done that. It's too much of a pain to reply, so I ignore it. It's funny that he doesn't have the he doesn't have a smartphone. Because there's the whole There's always the danger these days if you have a smartphone of the leaving messages read. And so, at least in this instance, she's not there's plausible deniability that Rintaro has here. I finish off my bottle of Dr. P and my stomach gurgles. I haven't eaten anything since yesterday. I'm so hungry. I don't even feel like showering. I call out to Daru, who's hammering on the keyboard. Okay, is it her again? Oh, it's Mayuri. Mayuri, crying face. Mayushi's spending money is getting dangerously low. You and Daru need to chip in too sometimes. You don't want to get between me and my food. Okay, let's see, how do we want to respond to this? Don't get angry. Next time, I'll treat you to anything you want to eat, so keep buying more bananas for the sake of our experiments. Okay. What is this one? Eat too much anyway. Go on a diet before it's too late. I feel like, considering we took... Well, I say we. It wasn't me. Considering Rintaro has been taking her stuff without permission, you know, repeatedly at this point, I feel like he should be a bit more generous here. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one. There we go. Hopefully that'll make her feel better. Okay, we called out to Daru.
Nah. サンボに牛丼でも食いに行かないか。めんどい。腹は減ってないのか？減ったけどさ。
Sambo? Is that a kind of restaurant or a particular restaurant? What is he doing on the computer anyway? I'm curious, so I casually peek over his shoulder. There's an image of a futuristic-looking facility I've never seen before. Richly colored cords crawl through a gigantic octagonal tunnel, like the interior of a spaceship from a sci-fi movie. Based on the height of the people in the picture, the tunnel looks to be more than 10 meters tall. Incidentally, the people don't look Japanese. Daru sighs heartily. I don't know if the blank look in his eyes is from sleepiness, exhaustion, or if something's just wrong with him. Hey, we mentioned this before. I don't think I've ever heard it described as cute though, so that's quite something. Large hardened coriander. Is that an incantation? No, a secret technique. I grab Daru's relaxed shoulders and wring them out.
LHC マジ燃えるからおぬぬめ
Really? Recommended for what?
お前人でないものにも性欲を
ねえよでもなんつうの見ててワクワクするっつうのニヤニヤできるっつうのそんな感じってあるやん
Sorry, Daru. No. No, I don't get that, personally.
そういえば少し前は工場や高速道路の高架下がたまらないとか言っていたな。
そうそう、あれと一緒。
節操がなさすぎる。
2D, 3D, and even inanimate objects.
ジャンル分けして自分で興味の対象を狭める方がもったいなくね。
And yet you'll do anything to avoid things that don't interest you. Hypocrite.
セルンか。
That name, I've seen it somewhere, and recently. Where was it again? Oh, of course.
ジョン・タイター。
ああ、ジョン・タイター。オカリンが言ってたのって今アットチェンで祭りになってるやつのことだったんだな。
それは偽物である可能性もある。俺が言っているジョン・タイターは10年前に現れた方だ。
10年前にも現れたん？同一人物？
I had hoped that Daru would remember, but no such luck.
とにかくジョン・タイターがセルンのことについて触れていた。
I don't remember all of it, but there's one thing I'm sure of.
タイターはこんな予言を残した。すなわち2034年までにセルンがタイムマシンを完成させると。
おお、タイムマシン。まさにタイムリーな話題じゃん。でもそれって10年前じゃなくて今のタイターも言ってた気がする。
10年前だろうが今だろうがどちらでもいい。それより気にならないか、ダル。この奇妙な符号はシュタインズゲートの選択である可能性が高い。
タイターって信頼できるん？
信頼できるかできないかはどうでもいいのだ。俺たちと奴は今タイムマシンというキーワードでつながっている。そのタイターが言及したセルンについて念のために調べたとしても損にはならないはず。
Vigor returns to my body. Curiosity truly is the greatest delicacy for a mad scientist like me. Anyway, the phone wave name subject to change experiment has hit a dead end for now, so it shouldn't matter if I take a little detour for this.
ダル、セルンについて詳しく。
OK。僕のセルンフォルダが火を吹くぜ。
Daru strikes his keys with a renewed passion. He goes to the My Pictures folder and opens a folder literally called CERN.
セルンは世界最大の素粒子物理学の研究施設だよ。ヨーロッパ素粒子物理学研究所だとか欧州素粒子原子核研究機構みたいな通称で呼ばれることもある。スイスとフランスの国境近くジュネーブ郊外にあってさ、古いところだと HTML や HTTP ワールドワイドウェブを生み出したところってんで有名。
Okay. World Wide Web, abbreviated as WWW, also simply called the Web, the standardized document system used on the internet. HTTP, short for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, the communication protocol used to transfer data, like HTML, between the browser and a web server. HTML, short for Hypertext Markup Language, a language used to design web page documents, allows the embedding of images, videos, sound, and hyperlinks. How about that?
ワールドワイドウェブだと。それってインターネットの？
ビンゴ。 URL の最初についてるやつ。
CERN invented that? All I know about CERN is what I read in Titor's book. I never knew they were that amazing.
日本じゃそんなに馴染みはないけど、日本の研究チームも現在進行形で参加してたりするのだぜ。
セルンはどんな研究を？
基本的には素粒子物理学かな。世界でも唯一セルンしか持ってない超でかい実験装置を持ってるんだ。いわゆる粒子加速器ってやつ。 低速汎用子蓄積リング、陽子シンクロトロンブースター、大型電子陽電子コライダーで、ラスボスは世界最大を誇る LHC ラージハドロンコライダータン。
Tan. A Taku possessed the ability to anthropomorphize, in Moe form, just about anything in the world simply by sticking Tan at the end of the name. Daru's powers encompass even particle accelerators. Let's read about it more. Anthropomorphism. To represent a non-human entity as a humanoid character, typically in illustrations. While animals and military hardware are among the most common subjects, anything can be anthropomorphized, even abstract concepts, chemical elements, and countries. Daru doesn't seem to notice my shock, he just brings up the next image.
LHC はセルンの地下にある全長約27キロのサークル状トンネルに設置された粒子加速器なんだよ。
It's pretty dang long.
陽子同士をそのトンネルで加速させて衝突させることで未知の素粒子反応を起こそうって実験を去年あたりから始めてる。まあ実験開始前はその実験でミニブラックホールが作られちゃうかもって噂もあったな。そのミニブラックホールに地球が飲み込まれる、宇宙がやばいみたいな。
Yeah, I do remember hearing about that. Mini black holes. I'm pretty sure Titor said in his time machine I'm pretty sure Titor said his time machine used mini black holes. Are the things he said about CERN true? It reminds me a bit of, I can recall back during the development of the first nuclear weapons, there were some scientists that were worried that using a nuclear weapon could potentially do something like ignite the Earth's atmosphere and, cause an apocalypse of that nature. And so, it's not, they aren't completely the same, but it's the idea of this sort of new and unknown technologies that could have potential catastrophic consequences. Yeah, I mean, the nuclear bombs were going to be catastrophic. That was the intent, but even beyond the original intent, it could be even more catastrophic. Luckily, at least as far as I'm aware, there haven't been any apocalypses as a result of CERN, so hopefully that keeps up.
現実にそうなる可能性は
あるわねえよ。セルンが公式に否定してる。もし仮にミニブラックホールが生成されたとしてもエネルギー量はすごく小さいから生まれた瞬間に消えるね。地球を飲み込むなんて全然無理っしょ。
I was gonna say, well, of course that's what they would say. But I mean, I've spoken before in previous episodes how I am not that scientifically minded or educated. So I'm pretty much just going to have to take the game's word if it's telling me this. Or I guess in this instance, it's taking Daru's word, who is taking CERN's word. But if there's anything that I'm missing here and you guys want to let me know, feel free, because, a lot of it is interesting.
だが火のないところに煙は立たない。
If I remember correctly, Titor claimed that CERN began time machine research in 2001. In 2034, they complete the time machine. Right now, it's 2010. If they actually started that research, it would have been 9 years ago. According to their official announcements, they only began experimenting in 2008. That's suspicious. Of course, that's assuming Tidor's story is true. Some of Tidor's predictions were on the mark, but most weren't. I'm also perplexed by how everyone around me seems to have forgotten about Tidor's 2000 appearance. There's something important in Tidor's tale, or at least I want there to be. I take out my phone and put it to my ear.
俺だ聞いて驚くな。悪の陰謀の匂いを嗅ぎつけた。ジョン・タイターとセル。その2つの言葉から俺が言いたいことは分かってもらえるはずだ。ああ、そうだ。奴らは機関とつながりがある可能性が高い。偶然だと？おいおい、あまり俺を失望させるなよ。何？根拠だと？そうだな。あえて言えばささやくのだよ。俺のマッドサイエンティストとしての直感がな。
Ah, of course.
奴らは世界を滅ぼそうとしている。ああ、ミニブラックホールによってだ。だがもしもその技術を俺たちが横取りすることができたらどうかな。当然だ。俺を誰だと思っている？全てはシュタインズゲートの選択だよ。エル・プサイ・コングル。
I put away my phone, then turned to find Daru giving me an exasperated look.
お前は一体誰と戦っているんだ？
ダルよ。俺たちのやるべきことは一つだ。
やるべきこと？なんぞ。
なんぞではない。引き返すな。そこは全てを組んでにやりと笑うのだ。でないとスーパーハッカーらしくないだろうが。
If it was Ferris here, she could play along with you, but apparently Daru can't. I wanted him to say something like, "Well, why the hell not? So what's in it for me?" And then we'd continue like this, grinning slyly the whole time. Me, a week's worth of potato chips. Daru, 10 days. Me, you sure are a glutton. Daru, the dive makes you a hungry man. Me, deal, get started. Daru, you got it, boss. Or, something like that. Yep, a real cool conversation. But the real-world Daru just purses his lips. Mayuri! Thank you very much. Just hearing that from Ocarine makes me happy. Aww. She's easy to please.
オカリンはいつも説明不足なんだっつうの。かっこつけるより先に分かるように話してくれ。
Work with me here.
お前はスーパーハッカーだ。
ハカーって言うな。せめてハッカーにして。
あとは分かるな。
いや全然。
セルハッキングしろ。
Hack into all of CERN, into the organization known as CERN. Daru stares at me in disbelief.
それはひょっとしてギャグで言っているのか？
誰？お前ならできる。奴らの悪事を暴き、タイムマシンについてのヒントを手に入れろ。
悪事ってオカリンの妄想だろ
う。電話レンジカッコ仮をタイムマシンとして使えるようにするか、このままただの打作としてラブの倉庫で眠らせることになるか、今が分岐点だ。
マジで言ってんの？
俺はいつでもマジである。
I look Daru straight in the eyes as I answer. Looks like that made him understand my position. Daru sweeps the garbage off his desk and sits up straight.
どうなっても知らないぜ。
Oh, he's actually gonna try, huh? Okay. Let's see where this goes. Suddenly, Daru is bursting with energy. It's like his earlier lethargy was a lie.
交渉成立だ。すぐ取り掛かってくる。
うは、みなぎってきた。
報酬のポテチ1週間分はスイスの銀行に振り込んでおく。
Daru doesn't respond. He's already deep in concentration.
じゃあ俺は寝る。あとは任せた。
I lie down on the sofa and let the clacking of Daru's keyboard lull me to sleep. Okay. We got mail. Uh-oh. Ferris. Original sin level rising to 180%. What a title for something. That is incredible. Kyoma. When operating in the mundane world, you're supposed to be discreet, nya. You don't want them to notice you. Remember, the summoning has taken 2,000 years to prepare. If it fails, everything will be ruined. Although I suppose that might make things interesting, nyahaha. Wow. We have 4 potential responses, huh? Alright, let's see it. Akiba, part of the mundane world? Nonsense. This town has belonged to chaos for centuries, and it shall forevermore. Okay, what does discreet say? Are you suggesting that I, the great Hoi in Kyoma, run and hide? You risk my ire, cat girl. 2,000. Is the church still devoted to that fool's errand? Even if they manage to resurrect their messiah, humanity's faith is less than 17% of what it was in his time. Mankind doesn't need... Scroll down. No. Why won't you scroll down? Scroll wheel does nothing. Clicking on the arrow does nothing. Okay, I guess we're not allowed to see the other, whatever else is there. And interesting. You. What are you scheming? Okay, well... Part of me thinks that Rintaro would actually just ignore this email. But saying he does respond, what would he say? I think I would want to think almost like this. Just because it is kind of funny to me how Ferris is the only one to get him to drop his character. This is playing into it. This is more, rather than playing along, it's more directed at her. And this is playing into it too, but but not going with the prompt, I guess, or going against the prompt. I'm a bit curious to see how far this will go, so let's play along. Let's see what happens if we try to continue the script here. How will she react? Okay, and I should... There we go. Mankind doesn't need decrepit old gods to save them. Okay. Nice. You know what? I'm thinking I'll probably call it here today. That was kind of a whole scene, right? And now he's taking a nap, and we're gonna be starting a new scene here, so yeah, let's call it here. So, just another bit of a smaller episode. Again, usually an hour or so is my limit, but if I'm right in the middle of something and it seems like we're going to get to the end of something, you know, I'll continue on a bit longer. Or if it seems like right now where it's you know, that was kind of a clear end of a scene there, I don't mind ending a bit early. So I think we'll call it there. We had some interesting talk about CERN. Moeka is worryingly interested in us. Definitely a red flag there. We were able to make up with my Yuri a bit. And we've sent Daru on a hacking mission to hack CERN. That's quite something. And Karisu is MIA, so hopefully we'll get to hear from her soon and see what her reaction to all that stuff is. Interesting that the phone wave seems to be out of commission. Curious about that. Alrighty, I guess we'll find out next time. I've been The Warm, this has been Steins Gate. Hope you're all doing well, and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.